All right, Mr. Chairman, it is 5:30.
5:30, I'll call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Baylor?
Here.
Liebel?
Here.
McKee?
Here.
Klibowitz?
Here.
Zuba?
Here. Anyone present don't want to be heard on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay. We have consideration of the minutes of July 23rd, 2024 with the second paragraph under public hearings. It begins, Chairperson Klibowitz opened the public hearing at 5:20 p.m. That will be struck from the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve? Make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Baylor?
Yes.
Liebel?
Yes.
McKee?
Yes.
Klibowitz?
Yes.
Zuba?
Yes. Okay, public hearing. We'll open the public hearing for variance request for exception to section 54-723 of the Village of Butler zoning code for fabric cat rents. Anyone present that would like to be heard on this?
Yes, I'd like to speak on.
Okay, before you do that, you have to take an oath. You solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay. You can proceed.
I want to introduce myself. My name is Blaine Rakowski. I am here to represent Fabic Cat in this hearing. We are the exclusive Caterpillar dealer for all of Wisconsin, all of Missouri, and a few areas in the underlying surrounding states. So we are excited to come to Butler soon and open a brand new rent store. For us, that means that we are going to start renting skid steers, excavators, and some smaller, medium-sized boom lifts out of what was previously the Vermeer site. So with all this equipment, we're going to utilize this yard at the Vermeer site for storage and display when the equipment is off rent. Now, being that we all live in Wisconsin, I think many of us go to work in the wintertime when it's dark, and we come home when it's dark. That means for us at Fabic that we have people outside in the yard moving this equipment around, loading it and unloading it in the darkness. And that's kind of why we're here today, is to talk about how we can improve safety in our yard for our people. So, a few topics. So the safety, we're looking at enhancing the lighting, the greater height of the, let me back up real quick, sorry. We are looking to increase the height of our poles from the village requirement of 15 foot up to 25 foot. So this enhanced lighting at the greater height is essential for ensuring safety in this area, particularly during the nighttime hours. The taller poles will provide better illumination, will reduce potential hazards for both pedestrians and drivers. Our rental equipment carries the unique characteristics that the booms and arms are extendable beyond the 15-foot mark, the 15-foot height, which could potentially cause damage to the poles or the operators of the equipment. The added number of poles in the area with a restricted height of 15 foot would also create additional hazards for both the equipment, for people in the area, and for the trucks maneuvering around them. We reviewed the design of the 25-foot tall poles to ensure that it integrates well with the existing environment and does not negatively impact any neighboring properties. Measures such as directional lighting will mitigate any light spill issues. And if you've noticed on that site, it is much lower than any of the surrounding sites. Even neighboring sites have light poles that are closer to our 25-foot, what we're asking for the 25-foot height. So I feel this variance aligns with the zoning goals of enhancing public safety and ensuring effective lighting while maintaining the aesthetic standards of the Village of Butler. And given our unique hardships and the benefits outlined, we respectfully request the approval of the variance to exceed the 15-foot height limit of the light poles. If anybody has interest, we have photometric plans showing what the 25-foot tall poles would look like, the light spill on neighboring properties, and what our illuminated areas are. I strongly believe they fit well within the village requirements, and they They are directly pointed down. They are not illuminated, tilted up on the edge of the building or on any of the poles, shining into the roadway, shining onto neighboring properties. We have on that site, if you know, we have strong, we have a large tree line that runs along the river and the road, which will block this site, majority of the site from public view. And with the neighboring properties having similar pole heights, I feel that this is this will be, let's see. Well, let's back up. I don't know what I want to say there, but I feel like this is, with the neighboring properties having this, I feel like this would be a aesthetic, it fit well into the surrounding area. And I guess if anybody has any questions, would like to see anything, any of the plans we have presented, or I have pictures of other similar sites to show what we typically do. I guess I will leave it open if anyone has any questions.
Members of the board have a question?
Yeah, you're making the claim of your boom lifts hitting light poles if they're not 25 foot, so none of your booms go beyond 25 foot?
No, but so the booms are extendable.
Correct. I fully understand how they operate. I work construction as well.
Okay.
So I understand. So but you saying to us that if we don't have them 25 foot, it becomes a hazard for our equipment, which would state to me that you won't go past 25 foot with your boom.
I don't think so. I'm saying
Wouldn't the hazard be the same no matter what with an extending boom, 25 foot or 15 foot? And I only asked that because you made that a real strong point of your argument for this.
So typically, most of our subcontract haulers have double drop trailers. So
Yep.
as the booms are going up, right, we're coming up at an angle, the boom is shooting down into the ground. As it's coming over and coming down, the boom's going back in the air. These booms
Yep.
only go down so far, right? So
Correct.
these are, while we aren't having them extended on the site, while they're going on the trailer, they are coming up in the air as they go back down the slope to go on the trailer.
And that'll be less than, so 25 foot. If it's not 25 foot, that's more than 15 foot in the air when you go up those ramps.
There are some of our boom lifts that do have, I think our longest one is 65 foot while it is collapsed. And it is,
So all your other locations have 25 foot lights.
I can't
You have
say
your
all.
Waukesha site, you have your, the Milwaukee site, you have multiple Fabco
Yes,
rentals. They all have 25 foot lighting.
there's a combination of, so in the village of Milwaukee, we were able to get by with lights pointed out in the building. There is village code here that does not allow us to do that. So we don't have light poles there because we're able to accomplish it that way. I am fairly certain our Waukesha branch does. I know that our Racine branch does, down at the Rybar site.
Mm-hmm. The Rybar site's right off the freeway. That's
Yeah.
a different animal of a site than what you're doing here
R-
by a long shot. Right? So I'm just, safety, I'm all about safety, right?
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to wrap my head around 15 foot versus 25 foot, how much more safety you're going to get. And that with today's lighting, I'm not understanding it. When street lights our average is 12 foot for street lights on the roads.
Really? Okay. Because I was surveying the light poles around that Butler Industrial Park area, and I just took the little laser tape measure, and those were averaging 25 to 30 in that area. I could believe the newer standards are that in the residential areas, but down in that industrial area, if you look around there, they're all fairly tall.
So you said other sites. What other sites did you go to that had 25 foot, that's already in our community at 25 foot? What
So-
businesses?
Like the Right Way is it
Yeah, right way.
Right Way bus?
Ben, do we know if there's other, has this been come across before?
This has not. I looked at Right Way, and going back on Google Maps it only goes back to 2007. They've had those poles since then. I have no idea when they erected those poles. They went through the building permits for them, so those could have easily. There was no permit that I saw for that. So this could have been erected back in the 90s, possibly. I don't know when it was erected. So
But they are 25 foot?
I did not go out and measure them, but they seem tall. And
Okay.
also with that, I would just say that a property having that, going back before 2007 doesn't necessarily mean that we have to allow another business to do that.
That's what I mean. So you answered my question. We didn't allow that per
Not that-
se
correct.
in-
Not that I know of, not that I
in
can
this
find a
setting.
record of.
in this setting. So I just wanted, you answered my question.
You know when 15 foot became the standard?
I do not. The ordinance that I tried to find our ordinances going back before we recodified. I was able to, the zoning section was unfortunately missing from that. I'm guessing it's probably in another book somewhere that I was not able to find. But looking at if it's been done since we went to a digital code, the adjustment would have been shown. It seems like my best guess is that it goes back to at least 2003, based off of what I was able to find. Because on the bottom of the code, it references a state statute that was passed in 2003. That's just what I have to go off of.
So you're asking for a light that's pole and base that's gonna be 30 feet plus the fixture on top?
We are asking 25-foot total. Is it
And you're saying on a concrete base, you're putting it all, how high is that?
25 overall to top of pole, to top of fixture? So
Pole is
20
by itself?
22 then, and then a 3-foot base maybe?
And the light fixture is one that sits on top of the pole?
It'll come out from the pole straight out, so,
Arm?
yep, on an arm.
You have pictures of it? You
Of the
said?
actual pole,
Yeah.
not of the actual pole.
The light fixture?
I don't have pictures of the light fixture itself.
So what did you bring? You said.
I have
I was-
photometric calculations. I have,
How many poles are you predicting you're gonna put up?
we are planning on putting up 2.
And if you had to go to 15 foot, how many poles would you have to put up?
Like that area, it went to 5.
Making sense?
Sorry, it's a little small, but you kind of, so. So on the 2 poles that we are proposing,
Is it 2 lights per pole, I'm assuming?
Correct.
Okay. If you had to go to 5 poles, where would they be placed?
we had to place them, so. Draw this, so this area right along here, there's an existing loading ramp
Okay.
that exists right here. That's where we plan on loading trucks.
Okay,
So we end up having to place them, another one over here, then along, like, in between the third one, these 3 and these 2 on this side
okay.
of the property.
So this is the property line right here?
Correct.
And what's the other side? Is it Goodyear? I can't remember.
Goodyear's to the south of
This is the
them.
south? Okay. What's the business to the east of you, right here? Do you know what that is?
That might be Blair Fire Protection.
Okay,
Here, northeast, yeah.
Yeah, they're on the corner.
okay.
Yeah, this sits in the back. You kind of
It's under-
hidden. It's hidden.
It's pretty hidden.
Yeah, it's hit like, I went and looked at, I went to go look at it and you had to you're like, wait, there it is. You know,
It's easy to drive by.
you know it is, right? I mean, but you guys are, I mean, you don't need to have, I mean, your company is so well known. You, I
Right.
mean, you're not looking for signage to attract people. People are already coming to you.
Right.
Blaine, can I ask really quick? Do you know how tall the building is?
I actually do. We are 22 feet to the eve.
Could they mount a picture on that wall? Is that
allowed,
allowed?
correct?
Well, there's difficulties, and Blaine stated it in his application with I believe you stated the minimum foot candles, the minimum lighting requirements, that if you were to mount it, there would be difficulties like shielding. I forgot what you put exactly on that application.
Yes, the village has requirements that did not shine on a roadway. And if we were to just, shine lights straight out, there's a potential, if you look up at Silver Spring, you're looking right into lights.
But the building itself could be utilized as a pole.
That
It
would,
wouldn't have to be mounted to the side of the building. It could come off the building like a light.
100%, I completely agree.
I mean, it could, right? So that would fall in the rules and regulations that you're not shining. You would still shine like a 25 footer. If your building is 22, you could utilize some of that. Could you just have a pole coming off the building? No. Yeah, a pole and then the light mounted to it.
Yeah, this is kind of a basic site plan for us. Maybe it better defines the loading area. Sorry, I only brought one copy of that. But, so, I mean, I would love to do that. That'd be a significantly cheaper option for us. But I mean, this distance, I have a
Pretty
different
large
plan.
distance.
Well, no, I'm not saying that just one off the building is gonna make it better, but if we try to get our heights closer and, we add a third and we get closer to,
Mhm.
our 15 foot, I get it, right? 5 poles versus 2 poles. It's another reason you want to go 25, right? And we can put all the other stuff to it, but right, it's more cost. So I understand it.
Where you're loading right here.
So there's a built-in loading dock right here that we'll back up to for equipment on trailers. For drop decks, we'll be loading up here. So kind of two different animals there, but
So these lights are mainly just for your loading and unloading because these lights aren't shining back here.
nope, not at all.
So you're just, this is for your loading dock.
Just we want to keep the guys that's loading on the trailers.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you guys are loading and unloading in the dark most of the time for construction. I mean, I fully understand that. And if you can go higher, you can put less in, which is cost effective for the company. I understand that.
You don't have to drive around with maneuverability. It's a lot less to potentially hit. See better.
So you couldn't put a light here that would shine that back there and more than one light on a building. And still use maybe a 15-foot poles back further.
Mr. McKee, if I could we make sure that everybody's microphones are on?
I don't know how to turn this on.
Oh, there should be a button.
Center
where-
button.
Yeah,
There
if
you
it's
go.
red, it's on.
Okay.
Thank you.
You need to see this.
Um,
Ben, is
you
it
guys need to see
allowed to
this?
put a light fixture on a building higher than the 15 foot?
So what the code says is for outdoor lighting installations shall not be permitted closer than 3 feet to an abutting property line, and where not otherwise regulated, shall not exceed 15 feet in height, and shall be adequately shielded or hooded so that no excessive glare or illumination is cast upon the adjoining properties. It just says that the installation cannot be higher than 15 feet. So, or have a height of greater than 15 feet. So I guess that would depend on how you would want to measure that. If you're measuring it from where you're going to be fastening it to the building to the top, or if you're going to say from the ground to the top of the fixture.
Yeah, and I don't know that, looking at what they're trying to do, I don't know that helps them a whole lot. They need it more out in the yard for
Were there any exceptions to the height, in an industrial area?
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, back in a parking lot like that, it's not really tall.
Correct.
I
And
would think that would be for a residential area, the 15-foot
kinda-
rule.
correct. And I would like to just make a mention to the board that the Board of Zoning Appeals is to hear, appeal to, like, as the ordinance is written. And it is I would say, the village board's responsibility to adjust the ordinance to better accommodate businesses. So what you're doing right now is just considering the ordinance as written. So I am not aware, to answer your question, I am not aware of any exceptions. I searched the code and before this and tried to find any, and I did not find any.
Does the board have any other questions?
And if I could just make one more statement, I placed in front of you before the meeting a document from the League of Wisconsin Municipalities that I believe very clearly states what the three main criteria of a variance application must satisfy. And one of them, well, for a area variance, which this would probably fall under, you need to have the person showing competent evidence that the regulation unreasonably prevents or is unnecessarily burdensome to the activity. And then that unreasonable burden has to be tied to the uniqueness of the property. So I'll just stress to the board that the state and the Wisconsin Supreme Court, as the document shows, is very clear when they say that it's supposed to be a difficult process. Regulations are burdensome, and if regulations are old and in need of update, that's not for the Board of Zoning Appeals to make a decision on. That's for the village board to adjust the ordinances. So that's just what I would say, is that you have to consider what the courts have said, which is outlined in the document before you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll close public hearing now. What's the pleasure of the board?
No, I don't feel that it doesn't meet any of the reasons why we can grant a variance.
Do you have a motion then?
Yeah, I make a motion that it be denied.
I have a motion to deny the variance. Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Baylor,
To the motion, yes. For
Le-
denial.
Liebel,
Yes.
McKee,
Yes.
Klibowitz,
Yes.
Zuba.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is Mr. Hamel here?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Hi.
We're not done yet. Make a motion to go into public hearing. Call the roll.
Sorry, this one does not have a public hearing.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
Correct. This one does not.
Okay, all right. So the same thing.
Correct, for Mr. Hamel.
Okay, Mr. Hamel, you here?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give in this manner shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, you can proceed.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I was denied running my business out of my home due to the fact that the board claimed it as a retail business. Um, Basically, I'm here to appeal that decision. Um, Based on the fact that it is a service-based business revolved around a product because we are not the actual owners of the product. I know that sounds interesting, but basically, a service-based business can revolve around a product rather than just revolving around people. And we act as the filter for a wholesale company. So basically, we receive the products and don't sell them. We're selling the service of making sure they're not tampered with, making sure they're cleaned, making sure they're ready for sale. So, yeah.
Could you move that mic up a little bit?
Doing my best.
And
So,
Mr. McKee, if I can just chime in here. So Mr. Hamel, he went through the conditional use process, and the village plan commission recommended denial of the conditional use. And then went to the village board, and they sustained that objection and denied the conditional use. I provided information that basically stated that I believe that the business operated as a retailer reselling business versus a service-based business, and the village code does not allow home occupation businesses that are not service-based. So the things that I saw here that make me question the appeal is that Mr. Hamel seems to contradict himself a couple different times. On the conditional use permit, which I have provided to you, it's a double-sided sheet. He states that on that sheet that the business is for storage of medical goods. And then when our assistant administrator called to talk to him over the phone to get more details, he stated that in the memo that is on the back of that, that he stores and repackages the items at home in his garage before selling the items through online sales, that it's either shipped or delivered to pharmacies, other companies, and buyers. And then he also, at the village board, stated that he was not aware of the restriction of service-based businesses in residential CUPs, but also stated that he believed that his business is actually less bothersome than a service-oriented business. And that, to me, implies that he agrees that his business was not service-oriented. If he believed that his business was service-oriented, he wouldn't have said that it was less burdensome than a service-oriented business. And then he he never stated in any of those three prior interactions with the village at the village board level or at any time during the administrative process that he does this inspection. He basically just said that he gets product, he stores it, he repackages it, then he sells it, which again goes against what he had said in his appeal that said that he gets paid off of the value of the product that he inspects. He gets paid for the inspection services rather than the product itself. But again, that was never stated at any previous time. That he said that he sells them through online sales. That's not getting paid to inspect that. And I have questions for him on how he procures those, because just kind of searching around, from what I understand and what was provided in the police report, there was a police incident that was, it was no fault of his. It was just a minor incident. But when asked about his business, the police report also states that he basically exchanges money for the goods to be sent to him, which to me, when you exchange money for a good, you now own that good. You don't just, unless you're an intermediary where the business one sells to business two, and then it kind of does a little jaunt down here to get inspected, and then comes back up. And they're paying each other, and then this one pays, you know what I mean? It's kind of a difficult to understand process there. So that's just kind of my initial thoughts on that and why I am opposed to the appeal here.
All right, thank you. Do you have any response to what the
Yeah,
village
so,
administrator said?
yeah, so basically when I came here the first time, I wasn't aware of the, regulations for the, village code. I was kind of blindsided by the fact that, only service-based businesses are allowed, which I understand. But yeah, I was kind of just basically going off the top of my head. We have not, I know that I did say, we do online sales. We have not started that. We act as an intermediary company, purchasing the goods, not on our behalf, but for the company and inspecting them. But yeah, honestly, I understand, what the argument is. But yeah, that's where I stand. We are, a service-based business, but, I'm sure it could be mistaken as a, retail or wholesale business. So, other than that, I figured it was worth a shot coming here and maybe applying for an extension, as well. So right now, I'm told that I have to, have a different office space or different space to have my company run out of by, the beginning of 2025. If I could get a slight extension on top of that, that would be great. Otherwise, I have nothing else to say, really.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not the purpose of the zoning board of appeals. We can't grant you that extension.
Gotcha.
Now, do you buy these goods from somebody online?
Yes. Yeah, no, so,
Do you pay
Um,
for them to some other place? Do you buy them? And do what you ever do, then you find another buyer to purchase them from you?
so we're given like spending money on behalf of, the companies that we supply and do the service for. So basically, the, purchasing money is given to us. And it's not really a full-fledged business. It's more of like I explained, more of a service-based business of acquiring the items and providing them, inspecting them. So I guess you could say it's a gray area, in regards to it being either a service-based business or a, wholesale business. So, yeah.
So who sets the price on the product when you sell it to the person that supposedly gives you the money that you buy it? It's like they're giving you an open book and you can charge whatever you buy what you want and you can charge them off their account then.
Yeah, it depends on the market. Basically, the prices fluctuate. We just act as the, receiver and repackager and inspector of the goods. So, yeah.
So this is all under diabetic products, correct?
Yes.
Question for you, would the village board entertain extending his use of his
We gave him
facility
one.
until he
We gave
can
him one.
You gave them one.
We
You
gave 'em
till
one.
the end of the year,
Till,
correct?
till the end of the year.
Started
They,
at a
they want, the original proposal was for the end of October, and then
Okay.
trustee Holman motioned to have it go to the end of the year.
Okay,
And that was based off of Mr. Hamill's own testimony, where he stated to the board, because he was questioned, saying, hey, the board asked him, how long does he think he has until he outgrows the garage where he currently does the work? And he said he believed that he would outgrow it by the end of the year. And that's the reason why the board set it for the end of the year, saying,
Okay.
okay, that was the point. Yep.
have you been looking for an alternate space right now to do your business?
Yep.
You think you could achieve that by the end of the year?
I'm doing my best, but it's kind of tough. So, yeah, I'm doing everything I can. I hope so, but honestly, even an extra month or two would go a long way. But, yeah. So potentially, I can't say for sure, but yeah, an extra month or even two would be huge to,
So you're looking for almost a half a year.
yeah.
I mean, if 3 months isn't enough, how is 2 more gonna be enough?
I mean, we're talking about expanding a business. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight.
I appreciate that, and that's, when you were before the board, that was the reason you starting a business as a young man, and we applauded that, and we didn't want to give you just a month and, so it was broad, so we gave you almost 4 months.
Mhm.
When we made that extension, based off of you working hard, right? And now,
I'm
you
working.
you want more. I just don't know that 2 more months, then it's not enough. When's enough? That would be almost a half a year to move a business, and you're talking now you're saying you need to expand. I think it was pretty fair.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see how 2 more months is gonna,
Yeah, I understand. Well, there's, I mean, I could give you the full breakdown of my business and how it works and our profit loss, whatever.
yeah, that's not any of our business, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You need to move to a new location. That's the issue at hand, and you're saying you can't do that, and you had almost a month already, and now, you got till the end of the year, so that's 3 more months.
Mhm. It would help. That's all I'm saying. Like, we're in a tough spot. I don't really,
So my question is, how would it help?
it would give us more leeway to get to where we need to be.
We can't grant that.
I don't
anyway.
believe that's our
No, but I just,
jurisdiction anyway.
you asking for it
Correct.
and-
If he would like an extension, he can put forth a request to the village board. I can put it in front of the village president to see if he would like to place it on an agenda. Also, 2 trustees could also ask me to put it on an agenda, but you are correct.
Understood. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Welcome. We'll close public hearing. Yeah, we're gonna vote. To have a motion. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to deny the request.
Is there a second?
No second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Baylor,
Yes.
Liebel,
Yes.
McKee,
Yes.
Klibowitz,
Yes.
Zuba.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Yes.
Liebel,
Yes.
McKee,
Yes.
Klibowitz,
Yes.
Zuba.
Yes.
We are adjourned. 6:09. Who Who seconded the adjournment?
Well, you didn't say that at first.
It
You
got
said that
working